I think me, Alex, and the rest of the viewers definitely agree that we really appreciate the
Oh,
work.
I know that,
Yeah.
I'm glad that people appreciate and recognize it, and it goes without saying that I wouldn't be putting in the effort if I didn't think it was worth it, and if I didn't think people noticed or appreciated it. But the thing is, people do notice it, and people do see the hard work, and they do appreciate it, and the show does very well, and the show is able to, in the long run, pay for my return on investment. It's able to actually pay. If I work for 20 hours, at the end of the month, I end up getting 20 hours worth of money for my time. So it's not I'm not putting in a week's worth of effort into a video and only seeing like $20 from it. So that's an important thing to keep in mind too, is that I'm not just kind of wasting my time. I'm really making sure to do it correctly.
So just to clarify, as you know, a lot of people think that it's super easy to make a living off of YouTube, but on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like, a brain surgeon where every day you're like under the stress of killing someone at least once a day, what would you rate being a professional YouTuber?
That is a tough question. That's a really tough question to answer, because for me, it's not stressful or difficult. But it is really complicated and involved, and it takes a very particular mindset, work ethic, and skill set to be able to do what I do day in and day out and sustain it for a long time. Because it's not just being able to know how to do it or know how to get a single video. You need to be able to do repeat success. And I've uploaded over 1,200 videos in the last 6 years. And it's easy to be like a Tay-Zonday guy where you come out with Chocolate Rain and get 50 million hits overnight, and then you're just kind of set. You just kind of lie back and watch the money roll in. But if you never have that viral success, you really have to build a loyal audience and maintain it for a long period of time. And the work on my end, a lot of days, isn't that hard. I can sit down and record game commentary, do some light editing, export it, and throw it up on YouTube, and the whole process only takes a few hours. And it's not difficult. I have a lot of fun with it. I enjoy what I do, which is why I do it. But that being said, I also have 15 years of experience working in television. I've been doing this since I was 13 and 14. And I've been a professional editor for many years. So it's easy to me because I do it all the time. But if I were to just be like, hey, you should go become a professional YouTuber, here are all the steps you need to do, it's really not that easy. And it's the kind of thing that most people do not have the intelligence or knowledge to actually go up and do. I mean, I could teach you every single thing I know about YouTube, but that would take me about a month just talking nonstop. And at the end of it, you might be able to do what I do, but would you have the experience or the tempo to be able to do as I do as quickly as I've been able to do it? So I don't know if that answered your question, but for me, it's easy and enjoyable and it's fun, but I've been doing it for a long time. To anybody else, it can be really, really difficult. And there's plenty of people out here who make money on YouTube, but there's only a few hundred who make a living on YouTube.
So, if you don't mind answering this, how does YouTube actually end up paying you? Like, what is it that actually gets you paid? Because I'm pretty sure that my friend and I here aren't going to get paid from, posting this, but
not
you
even
get paid from posting your videos. What's the difference between the two? I mean, honestly.
Well, anybody can make money on YouTube, and anybody can get a check. It's made simpler even now, even more simpler. A couple of weeks back, YouTube expanded the partner program to include anybody who has had one video that qualifies for monetization, which basically means if you upload a video that is completely free of any illegal or copyrighted material, you have the ability to monetize it, provided it fits the terms of service and community guidelines of YouTube. And all you have to do is link up your YouTube account with an AdSense account, which means that you have to be 18 plus and have a bank account number set up in your AdSense. And actually, I'm not even sure if you need a bank account. You might just need an address that they can mail your checks to. But I have it set up as a direct deposit. And once you have that, that's the the first big hurdle. And once you become a full-fledged YouTube partner, as I did 4 years ago last month, every video I post, I have the option to place advertisements on them, and I get a 50% revenue split with YouTube on those advertisements. And at the end of the month, all the money from all 1,200 of my videos is added up, and if it's over $100, that is deposited into my bank account, at which point I can then give it to myself, the rest of my employees here at Jogwheel, and then spend it on my mortgage and things I need to live.
That's actually really interesting, but exactly how many people work at Jogwheel?
No one really works at Jogwheel, with the exception of myself and my wife. But, so, short answer 2, long answer 5 or 6 that work with me and work in partnership, people that I pay checks to. I wouldn't say that Jory or Riley or Ryan or Ezra or anybody else that I've cut checks to in the past, they don't work for me. They just kind of work with me. So it's like, hey, I have a project, I need your help. Or what usually ends up happening is go ahead and make your own videos the way you want, and if you make money from it, I'll give you the money you earn. And that's kind of how we have it set up now. So Jory and Riley are more of like a partner with me right now than an actual employee, because I can't really tell them what to do and vice versa, but if they make content and it earns the company money, then that's the money that they get to keep at the end of the month.
Yeah, that's more what I meant along those lines. Yeah. It's just I'm not very good at asking questions.
No, I got what you meant.
Okay, so do you want to ask any more questions, Ken?
I just was wondering, outside of all your YouTubing, what else do you do? I mean, other than YouTubing, what things do you do outside of this YouTube domain?
I do a lot of stuff. I mean, I watch a lot of movies. I play video games. I travel a lot. Hang out with friends. I mean, the usual stuff that most people do. I don't have any like particularly fascinating or interesting, side hobbies or jobs. I mean, YouTube is what I do full time, and most of the time I'm just sitting around my house, checking Reddit and reading the internet, reading YouTube comments, and watching ESPN. I like to go to rock concerts. I enjoy rock climbing, which I haven't done much of recently, but I used to go a few times a year. And that's, it's really, I mean, I go geocaching from time to time. That's kind of a bit of a hobby. That's about it, really. Not a whole lot. Just a pretty carefree life.
Yeah,
the same as anybody else, I suppose.
Well, I personally have one last question here.
Sure.
If you could start a new series of any kind for your channel, what would you like to do, and why would you like to do it? Like any kind of like series, whether it be gaming or something like that. If you had the time to do it, I mean.
Right. If I had the time. Let's see. I mean, I already do a news show. I do a gaming show. I do a vlog travel show. I do a roller coaster travel show. I do a movie review show, microwave show. I do a live show. I used to do a radio show. I have a sketch comedy show. Honestly, I feel like I've tapped everything I've ever been interested in. I've done at least 10 videos in that subject, if not a dozen more. And at this point, I don't know that there's too many. I'd like to do like, and again, it's kind of outside my wheelhouse, but I've always really enjoyed the stuff that Freddie Wong does, which is like this short form action comedy.
Yeah.
And I've done a few of those myself in the past, not nearly loaded with the special effects, but the same kind of vibe. But I would love to do more of that. It's just the kind of thing that, he spends an entire week for each video, and I don't have that kind of time to devote. I need to be able to produce a video that I can do in one day or less, not something that takes a week. So yeah, I would like to do kind of like sci-fi, the stuff I watch movies of, like sci-fi action. I have plenty of great ideas, but it's a lot, much easier said than done making an epic time travel action movie. So yeah, that's the stuff I'd like to do. I just don't know if I'll ever get the chance. I mean, I don't want to say that because I think if I wanted to make it happen, I could. It would just take a lot of effort that right now I'm not particularly ready to focus everything on just yet.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I also have one more question I forgot earlier. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But, my last question is, about how much does all of the equipment you use, including recording systems, including, like, the camera, including the, or I guess not recording system then, all of the equipment you use to produce your videos, about how much has that costed you? Or cost you, excuse me.
I want to say like a rough ballpark, probably around $20,000.
Wow.
Like my computer is probably the most expensive. That's been $7,000 over 7 years or so. I built my first computer in 2004 before I went to college. Built it for like $1,500, which was a pretty good budget back then for what I had. It was a beast of a machine, and I've upgraded it steadily since. And I got some extra money a couple years ago through a sponsorship thing we did with Ford. And they basically gave us like $5,000 to make a few videos, and it had to be spent on the videos. So luckily for us, within the the line item budget for that was being able to put the money towards new equipment, and new equipment included a new computer. So I was able to use a lot of that money and upgrade my computer. And so the computer's like $7,000, the camera's $3,500, my other camera's $500. The camera before that was $3,000. My other camera is the GoPro. That's like $200. Microphone's $500. The mixing board, the cables, the tripods, the jib we have, those are all another like $2,000-3,000 combined. So I think at the end of the day, it probably adds up to like $15,000 or $20,000.
That to me is amazing. It's been a very a long process. I didn't buy it all overnight. It's been slow purchases over the last 5 or 6 years or so. But I wouldn't have them if I couldn't afford them. So
yeah,
that is the good news. Is that luckily the YouTube career is able to pay for all of it eventually.
Yeah. Well, Ken, do you have any last questions or things you'd like to say?
No, I think I've just about asked every question that I have wanted to ask.
Alright. Do you have anything left to say, John?
Just thank you guys for having me on whatever this is going to end up. It has been a pleasure talking to you. I always love talking about myself, as I think most people do, so thank you for extending me another opportunity to do so tonight. It has been a pleasure.
Okay, thank you for being here with us. And
You're definitely welcome.
This is Alex.
This is Mega.
Signing out.
Yeah.